Hello, this is Roland. Today is part 5 of my series, How to Pray. Actually, I think it's part 6. I'm going to read a little something to you from A Guide to True Peace. I actually published a little version of this called A Guide to True Peace Revisited. It's a very beautiful little book. You can find it on Amazon or go to my website. A Guide to True Peace Revisited. Writings from some Christian mystics, 3 Christian mystics. Listen. And although, well, let me go back a little more here. It will be difficult from the habit the mind will have acquired of being always away from home, roving hither and thither, and from subject to subject, to restrain it and free it from those wanderings which are an impediment to prayer. Yes, those wanderings, the imagination, worrying, planning, setting goals, wanting something and thinking about how to get it, resenting the past, reliving the past, trying to rearrange the past. And various fantasies of romance, of worship, of being admired, of being respected, of revenge. Fantasies of judgment, thinking of what he said or what she said, or what he did or what she did, resenting it and judging them. See, those are an impediment to prayer, as it says here. But that's been your whole life. Not when you were a little tiny child, but it wasn't long before you were upset and angry. People were cruel, and they teased you and pressured you. And through acts of omission and commission, especially of parents, unaware parents, selfish parents, disturbed parents, okay, you became angry and resentful. And when you became angry and resentful, then you felt empty. And when you felt empty, then you needed love. You looked for love. See, love would come. If you were grounded in your center, then love would flow from within. But when you became separated from your inner ground, when you became angry and resentful, hate separates you from love. Judgment separates you from love. Resentment separates you from that love. And so then, being empty, you needed love. So often, you ended up clinging to the very ones who were cruel. See, the very ones who were cruel, or vicious, or teasing, or pressuring, that you hated. See, in your emptiness and your guilt for hating them. See, it's wrong to hate people or to resent them, even if they're rotten. See, we can see that they're rotten, but we're not supposed to hate them. And that especially applies to parents, resenting our parents. And so you clung to the bullies, to the tyrants, to the intimidators. You clung to them for 2 reasons. One, because by clinging to them and thinking that you loved them, it helped to take away the guilt for hating them. And secondly, you could please them, and if you pleased them sometimes, not always, but sometimes they would accept you, see, and make everything seem like it was okay. Although okay meant that you cowered and were intimidated by them, lived under their thumb, their rule, their tease, or their discourtesy, or whatever it was. And as a slave to their tyranny, and a guilty one, looking to them to take away the guilt. See, so there was that. Or you went out into the world looking for love, so naturally you clung to the peer group. See, those were people from rotten homes just like you, who resented their parents and felt didn't have love within, flowing from within, and so they clung to each other. So you clung to peers, and then you compensated with everything on the outside. Your iPhone, music, sports, study, friends, things. Everything was a compensation and entertainment to distract you, to take you away from from seeing the emptiness that you felt and from seeing how much your resentment toward home. So that's how it all began. See? So your whole life then has been composed of resenting other people, thinking about what they said, not being able to forget what they said or what they did, or how they harmed you, or how they weren't there for you, or neglected you, or betrayed you, and resenting them. See? And then resenting yourself. And living in a fantasy world to escape from the reality that you couldn't face. Everything began to intimidate you. See, when you resent things, then before long everything intimidates you. And then compensating. So you spent a lot of time compensating, maybe with clothes or friends or study. See? So your whole life then has been lost in thinking of the future and trying to get the world to give you what it took from you. The only reason it took it from you is because you resented it. So if you hadn't resented it, you would have continued to flow from within. You would have been an Einstein, a Madame Curie, a Susan B. Anthony, a Moses, a Paul, a Ruth, see, a Mozart, see, a Pavarotti. You would have been something, a Stephen Jobs, okay? But instead, you became what? Oh yeah, you may have been, maybe you're successful and you're making a lot of money in the world of business, but it's a compensation. It's not. See, if it comes naturally, then it's good. But if it comes as a compensation out of resentment, out of emptiness, out of trying to prove something, out of trying to escape, see, then it's not good. It's built on a house of sand, and it doesn't start with good, so it doesn't end with good. So these thoughts then, see, so there you are, this insecure, angry, resentful, hateful, compensated. So now you need something to comfort you as you are. You need something to love you as you are, as a compensated, resentful, judgmental, perhaps contemptuous or angry, see, person. And so people who love you as you are, then they just keep you that way. And that's why you end up hating them. Because you can see that their false love is not making you better. It makes you worse. Keeps you as you are. See? Even false religions. See? False friends. False religions love you as you are. Love you as you are and accept you as you are. Prideful, selfish. See? Rebellious, angry, phony, playing games. See? So it accepts you as you are. Well, whatever accepts you as you are keeps you as you are. Okay? And if you should encounter an honest person, see, well, that person makes you feel uncomfortable because they look at you and it's not that they reject you, it's just they see you for what you are. You know, and when they look at you with the light of truth, then you feel naked. You feel exposed, like they're looking right through you. That's why a lot of little children are slapped around, see, or driven insane, because there they are with brightness. They look at their parents and other wrong authorities, with the brightness in their innocent eyes, and the ogre cannot stand to be observed by the eyes of innocence. You see. So, now you see what those thoughts represent. They come to comfort you. See, they comfort you. They cater to your ego with fantasies of romance, excitement, revenge, success, and thoughts of success, and plans and schemes of how to make more and be more and have more and do more, and how to get over on people and put them down and rise above, and see. Or they comfort you with, like thoughts like, "Oh, you poor thing," and it's all their fault, and you're hard done by, and you're such a nice, wonderful person, and such a martyr, and nobody appreciates you. And see, there's just a million different variations They're all forms of comfort. And even distractions. It could be a fantasy of something goofy, a chemistry formula, or who knows. See, it comes to carry you away from reality, from the present moment, to carry you away from truth, from light. Okay? But eventually, if you want to get better, you will have to reconcile with the light. Just like the prodigal son had to go home to his father and say, "Father, I'm sorry. I squandered my inheritance and I'm no longer worthy to be your son." You have to come back to reality, back to the inner light, back to your conscience. See, your conscience represents the good that you left behind when you began to hate and resent, and in emptiness reach out into the world and compensate. That's what you left behind. So you need to become friends with it again, see? So prayer is a way of being in the present, closer to the light, closer to conscience, okay? And observing those thoughts. But now here's the thing. So how do you deal with those? Well, see, there they are. And they're very powerful. You've given them power. By giving in to them, by submitting to them, by wanting them, by reveling in them and wallowing in them. See? And also, perhaps by struggling with them. When you saw what they were up to, and you saw that they weren't your friends, then you made the mistake of resenting them and struggling with them, but that only gives them power. So now you must learn the art of being in the present. And observing the thoughts make their approach without falling into them, without floating away with them, okay? And snapping out of the daydream, and coming back to the present. So you're there, see, in reality, close to God's light, close to the redeeming light from God. See, your conscience. Your conscience. See, most people aren't even aware of their conscience anymore. That's how far away they are. They're so far away from it. All they feel is a vague anxiety, maybe vague. But see, your conscience is your friend. It's trying to call you back. It very gently taps on the door of your mind. We have to reconcile with conscience, become a friend of conscience. And you can only do it in the present. You can't do it in the past. You can't do it in the future. You do it in the present. So a new life could begin in this very second. As you hear me, and quietly your soul says yes. See? Your soul sees that what I'm saying is true. You just see that it's true. Wordlessly see. Okay? And you regret the way you are, and you also see you can't struggle with the way you are, and you can't change yourself. You've tried that. It doesn't work. You can't change yourself. Christ said you can't make one white hair black or add 1 cubit to your height. So all you can do is just sit there and regret what you see about yourself, and cast yourself upon the light. See, cast yourself upon the Lord. Okay? And wait for your, and then your conscience will grow. You'll become more aware than in the present. Be more aware of something. Now, what is it? See, you'll start to feel antsy and nervous, and you'll want to reach for something. You want to reach for a bottle or a pill or a smoke, or you want to reach for a book or your iPhone or music or food, see, or something, or reach for some fantasy to drift away with. But if you say, yes, I want to come clean. I want to, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of hating. I'm tired of resenting. I'm tired of judging. I just want to come clean, okay, and become what I once was when I was a little child, okay, and start again, start anew, start fresh, okay. Well, you can, it can start in this very second. So you hear what I'm saying, and quietly your soul says yes. See, then you can get my little meditation and learn to sit quietly in the present. Be aware of your hands and Learn to observe thought instead of being lost in it. Just watch it. Watch all the thoughts and all the games they play, and just see them. Keep coming back to the present. Observing thought in the present, seeing it, okay, without reacting to it. Your thoughts, your fantasies, all those worrying about the future and reliving the past and all these fantasies, they're just like a bad movie on a television show at 2 a.m. There it is. There's the TV at the other end of the room, and it's blaring away with a bad movie on it, and it goes in one ear and out the other. It's not believable. It's not credible. It's not relevant. It just, see, that's the kind of an attitude you have to have toward those thoughts. And also, yes, well, we'll just leave it at that. And those doubts that will come, see, and other people too. They'll try to make you doubt the right way, the way of coming clean, the way of returning to conscience, see, the way of becoming yourself. They'll try to make you doubt it, see. They'll try to make you doubt it, and they'll offer you comfort. They'll throw themselves at you and offer you comfort, whether it's a person, a friend, a organized religion, a spirituality group, a bartender, some expert, someone who has something for you, to offer you, to comfort you. See, you'll see. And all you have to do is just watch. See, don't resent them. Just let what they say go in one ear and out the other. Learn to trust what you know in your heart. See, become a friend of your conscience again, as you once were when you were a little child. Remember when you were a little child and you saw things and you knew things? Every day was an adventure. See, every day was bright and beautiful and fresh. That's how you have to become again. I wrote a book recently, my latest book. It's called A Day with the Lord. A Day with the Lord. You have to learn to find this present where you, instead of running from conscience, from the light, from intuition, you become a friend of it and you welcome it. Okay? And learn to live that each day like when you were a little child. A day of brightness and of adventure and of discoveries and realizations. Each day, a day with the Lord. My name is Roland.